Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Capital A Trading. Welcome to my Forex weekly review. So again, it's just that video where I'm reviewing what was said on Sunday and of course showing you how now it's developed over the week and what we can now do to take action. If you like the sounds of that, if you trade yourself, if you make investments yourself, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting things coming within the next couple of months. A quick shout out to the Absolutely magazine. Thank you for everything. Looking forward to working further. Let's get straight into it. Okay, guys, so I'm going to start on the pound USD as usual. Now, what I was mentioning is the selling area. The 141,500 mark is still kind of sitting in this level. However, now I'm kind of moving the goalposts. So what I'm saying now is looks like it's going to remain bullish and just climb to higher prices. I believe it may, on a long-term target, come, if you look at the weekly, all the way towards the 150 mark. So that's going to be a long-term target. That'll be something that I'm watching. So if I just come back down to the daily now, this area has held up well. However, like I said, with the bullishness remaining bullish from that swing there, it didn't really break it. I believe this will climb higher. If I just come down to a 4 hour, I'm actually in a buy at the moment for this. And I mentioned this on the call this morning with my students around the 141 level, just like the way price was holding up here. Of course, there was something that I was looking at previously playing off from the 17th of May there. And it's had quite a decent push so far. We're about 70, 80 pips up. So that's the buy move that I'm in. I believe it's going to reach a new high and maybe at least go to the 143, 142, 500 level. So that's what I'm holding on to at the moment on the pound USD. So keep an eye on that for yourself for tomorrow. Now, again, expect some strength from the dollar tomorrow. Expect a little pullback. Don't expect all hell to break loose, but expect some strength from the dollar. And then I'm expecting the pound to continue for next week. So keep an eye on this one. That's the pound USD. Okay, guys. So very similar to the pound USD, of course, the euro USD. As you can see, it looks very similar. The first area we was looking at is the 121,500 this week. It's had a little reaction. It had a little 50 pip drop from there. It's now climbed higher. This is the area where I believe the big move's going to come from. This is the one that I'm remaining patient on. That's the 123 level. Just off of this daily swing, we're going to look to see how it reacts there. So again, I believe we're going to see a bit of strength from the dollar tomorrow. And then I'll be watching Monday next week to see what's going to be looking best. So let's see how Friday plays out. Like I say, expect that dollar strength tomorrow. It usually happens on a Friday. And then I'll revise that for you lot on Sunday from the Forex Weekly. So make sure you catch that as well. That's the pound USD and the euro USD. And again, make sure they usually correlate. So again, if you're going to take action on one, you might as well have a look at the other and then make a decision. Okay, guys, next up, the euro pound recently had that good move from the 87 level, very profitable. And now what I mentioned for this week is the retest. It's starting to look good. I must admit, I feel like it's been a really slow week. I feel like most of the things that I've mentioned this week are going to really take off early next week. If I just explain what I mean by that is, again, I was mentioning this area, looking for the sells. I mentioned the 86,300 mark. I mentioned the 86,700 mark. I'm sticking with that one for next week. That's the area I believe we're going to get the main push from. If I just come down to a 2 hour, sorry, it's the 1 hour, you'll see the scenario that I played off. That's the area that I played off. And it's had a few drops from here, around the 86,400 to be more precise. And so far around 20, 30 pip drops. I believe they're just enticing sellers into areas that they don't really want to be in. I've scrapped that 300 level. I'm going to wait on the 600. So again, it'll be the euro getting stronger. I doubt it will happen tomorrow. So again, keep an eye on that Forex Weekly on Sunday where I'll be updating what I think is going to happen after, of course, we've seen Friday's price action. That's the euro pound. I'm saying the 86,700 for now. Okay, guys, next up is gold. I know a lot of you get excited when I do this one. This is for some of my students. I mentioned the 1843 level last week. I spoke about how they did a move from it and then came back to it and closed at the same level. So you could tell that was their transaction last week. I guess they took that sell. I did then start to say this is looking a bit weaker now. I feel like this area is going to get obliterated. It did. And this is the new move. This is what I'm looking at. It's on the daily. I just want to see what's going to happen around that 1900 level. There's a big piece of imbalance. I think it looks a bit clearer on the weekly, where you can see the scenario there with the buy to sell, the daily here. Just around this 1900 level, I want to see what's going to happen in that area there. It could go to 1920, 1940. So, of course, this will be an area, again, that we're looking to see a sell push come from. To be precise, if you want to play off that candle, it'll be the 1934. But I am expecting reactions there next week. So let's see price get there. And then hopefully we're going to see the drop. Now, what I believe is fueling this week is the Bitcoin drop. So for those of you that know, Bitcoin has had a heavy fall this week. And it seems like the money, the smart money in the world, you know, the big investors, the rich, they've put their money back into gold, which is of course forcing it into higher areas. So I'm going to see how that progresses. Obviously next week, if Bitcoin starts to show some sign of revival, then I think this is going to show a sign of weakness. So keep an eye on this one for next week. It's going to be an interesting one. That's gold. Okay, guys. So while I mentioned that gold move, this is Bitcoin. I mentioned the 60,000 sell recently from that area. It's had a crazy drop. This is, I believe, being heavily controlled by Elon Musk with what he's doing. And I understand the Chinese tweet where they mentioned something about they're not using cryptocurrencies. And as you can see, all hell broke loose. It basically dropped from 60,000 down to the 30,000 mark. I believe this is going to come a little bit lower before it starts to revive. So I just keep an eye on this area. What I wanted to see this week was price hit that 54 level where we could have hopefully placed the trade for that sell. It went without us, and that's just the way trading works. So that's Bitcoin, guys. Just keep an eye on this next week. This has kind of been the main focus this week. This is why we've had a slow week within the currencies. This is where the money's been at. This is where the action's been. So I'm expecting this to now sort of fall off a little bit more. Currencies might have a pickup next week. So let's see how that develops to then obviously get an idea of what's going to happen in the currency world. That's Bitcoin. Okay, guys. And the other one I mentioned was the UK 100. We're remaining patient. I've been talking about this area for a couple of weeks now. I still want to see price around the 7,400 mark. Okay, so that's where we're going to pull the trigger. That's where I believe the sell is going to continue from. It does look good. It's had a good reaction just below this area in here. Of course, it's dropped down, pulled back up, and it looks like it's played off the area again, for which could be a lower move. But let's see how this goes. This will be something that, again, I'll be updating on the Sunday video. So make sure you catch that. 7,400. If price gets there early next week, we can hopefully see the drop towards the later part of the week. So again, that's the UK 100. Keep an eye on that one. Okay, guys. So next up are two trades that I was in that didn't go so well, but I didn't lose any money. So let me explain. Okay, so I wanted to just explain this isn't all glory. If anyone who's promoting trading to you that it is all glory, they're pretty much lying to you. I had a position here around 156 level to see a sell. It's gone higher than the area. I'm now obviously writing that one off. I wasn't in this trade. Okay, what I'm now going to look at for this is this candle here. I like the way it's reacted off of it, and it's having a small reaction. I'm going to monitor that reaction tomorrow. And then, of course, I'll be updating this on the Sunday video. The number I'm thinking about is the 157,800 level. That's where I believe price has hit. It's hit this candle here for my students that would know why it's that candle and not this one. And it's had a good reaction just underneath it. So I want to see what's going to happen with this. And again, like I say, I'll be updating this on Sunday. GA, I was in this trade. It had a good reaction. I actually scaled some profits out, had my stop loss at break even. It came and took me out on nothing. So again, very similar to the EURUSD. I just want to see what's going to happen around the 184 level. It looks like a transaction's been made there. It does look very familiar to me, that piece of price action. So again, like I said, kind of similar to the EURUSD. I'll see how Friday gets on, and then I'll update this in the Sunday video. So again, make sure you catch that Forex Weekly. Okay, guys, just a quick update on the pound CAD, and there's not much to update. As you can pretty much see, the price hasn't really moved anywhere this week. It's stayed inside a 100 pip range from 71,500 to 7,500 and hasn't really gone anywhere. Again, I'm still waiting to see price back up around. I want to see that deeper retracement. So early next week, we may be looking at something for the buy, something to just rise up towards that 73 level, which of course there's still about a 200 pip range to get there. So I'll be looking at that. I'll be updating that on the Sunday video. But what we're still looking for this week, if this does rise up tomorrow, if something crazy happens tomorrow and we get price at the 173 level, that's where I'll be looking first, monitoring to take a sell on this. Okay, so keep an eye on this one. It's the pound CAD. Okay, guys, this is another one that I was looking at a sell retest around the 196 level. It had a small reaction. It's gone higher towards the 197. So just looking at this now, the fact that it didn't hit my buy area down here, I believe it may come and grab this area now. So again, I'm just going to kind of leave this one. I'll be updating it on Sunday. 198 level, if it gets dipped, what I'd suggest about this now is that if this area here gets dipped for liquidity, then I believe the big push will come after that. So I'm just going to kind of let this one play out and see what's going to happen with that. Again, same thing on the Euro NZD. However, this is now back at an area that I've taken transactions at before. So again, I think I was mentioning the 169 level. As you can see, it's blown that and gone 100 pips higher. This is an area that price has dropped at before. It's come off the base of a candle, and now it's kind of what I call it the waist of it now. It's in the middle point, and it's just sitting in this area, and it's been here for about a day and a half now. So the 170 is obviously the key number that we're looking at right in the middle of all this. So again, I'll be updating this on Sunday and just seeing how Friday's played out and what's going to look the best, keeping in mind that I'm aware liquidity might get grabbed before this all drops. So again, just keep that in mind as well. It may go to 170.500 before actually dropping. So that's the pound NZD and the euro NZD. Okay, guys, next up is the pound Swiss franc. Now, for those who may be watching this, the Swiss franc acts a bit differently because it's a safe haven. It's a place where investors like to place their money at times of uncertainty. So that's why this may do something different to the others. So again, what I started out by saying was I wanted my students to watch this 128.500 level. This is where I believe price is going to come to maybe next week for the big sell. But what I wanted them to watch this week was this candle here. So it looked a bit fishy what was left there, the way it shot up into that area. And this is where the week started. And I simply said, keep an eye on the 127.800 to the 128 level. It's come there quite nicely and had a drop. It's had about an 80-90 pip drop. Now I believe that move's done. I believe it's going to hold up in this area here where it's at and then go to the higher point where we can look at the sell for next week. So again, like most things in this video, make sure you catch that Sunday one. It's going to be interesting. Okay, guys, quick update on the pound yen. I've been mentioning the 155 key number. This is a weekly time frame. This is a long-term trade. This isn't going to be something that happens quickly. I will have to look at it quite a lot in this area. The 155 level, that's where we're going to be looking to take the position. This is the scenario on the weekly time frame. So just keep an eye on this one. Again, I'll be updating it on Sunday, but just keep an eye on how this progresses. It's got a lot of confluences. A lot of things have happened. There's been a lot of liquidity grabbed en route up there. So keep an eye on that one. If I just move to the euro yen, this one's going to look a bit cleaner. You'll see the confluence is a bit clearer. I'm looking to play off this buy to sell scenario. Of course, it's got the piece of imbalance that confirms it. There's a nice little double top here that's been eaten for liquidity now. So I'm going to keep an eye on that as well. That will hopefully fuel the trade as well. So the main thing right now would be obviously in between the 134 and 136 is what I'm looking at. So let's call it 135 for now. I'll be updating this on Sunday. Okay, guys, next up is the NZDUSD. I just wanted to show you this daily picture. I'm still waiting on that sell around, let's say, the 73,500 mark. But what I wanted to mention was where we could catch a sell this week. It was around this 72,800 mark. It just missed it. But this is where the market makers were at. This was where they've left their transaction over the weekend. It came back to it, and it's had quite a nice drop. And I believe it's going to continue a little bit more before we start heading towards that higher area. So again, it would be wise to keep an eye on that Sunday video. I know I've said that a lot in this one. That's the NZDUSD. AUDUSD didn't exactly hit the area the way I wanted it to, but it's very similar. It's doing the same thing. And again, it's got that same higher picture. I still want to see price come up towards, let's say, the 79,300 mark. It looks like it's hit the 79 level quite nicely, just underneath it. So I believe it's got to come higher just because of that. So it's going to hit the 79 mark. I'll be monitoring there. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll see if we're going to get the sell hopefully next week, maybe late next week. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, the dollar does like to tend to have its strength later on in the week. So let's see what's going to happen. I'll let Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday go. If it's sitting around that area still, I'll be confident in placing a bigger position on this one. So that's the NZDUSD and AUDUSD. Okay, guys, that's all from me this week. I just wanted to quickly mention before I go, Bitcoin has really been driving the markets this week. It's been very slow in the currencies. It's not been a normal one. So again, just practice your patience. Stay patient with the trades. Stay patient with what you're looking at. I'm pretty sure you're going to start to see a bit more progression next week. So again, guys, if you like the sounds of that, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with my channel. Again, there's going to be some exciting new things coming. A quick shout out to Absolutely Magazine. Thank you for everything. I'll see you all on Sunday. Have a great week.